of the Austrian Grand Prix. It has been a long, long time that we've waited, and I keep my fingers crossed that it will be well worth the wait. I have a feeling it will be. We're here in the Styrian Hills, and it's lights out and away we go, and Bottas gets away very nicely indeed. Verstappen alongside Lando Norris, Albon and Hamilton going wheel to wheel as Bottas through turn one, and Norris goes ahead of Verstappen but off the track. Also off the track goes Charles Leclerc as well. Bottas leads, Verstappen's back in second, Norris behind him, Albon has Lewis Hamilton right alongside him as well, and then there's three abreast behind that, Perez and Vettel and also Carlos Sainz, as into turn three we go, and Norris pressurising Verstappen but having to stay behind.
Norris steady, trying to go around the outside. Verstappen was not leaving him any space, but look, he's got a great slipstream. No DRS, no drag reduction system for the first two laps, of course. And oh, it's getting very close. Lewis really struggling in the back of the pack there. And Lewis then with DRS, he's going to be in great shape when it comes to the braking zone of turn four. He might even be in third place, and he is.
It didn't even need the braking zone at turn four. DRS helping him blast past, and that was a much cleaner move than it was in Brazil a few months ago. Hamilton gets past Alex Albon. He's up now into the podium places. You know what's happened to Max Verstappen? Verstappen going slowly, and has he lost power? And he's desperately trying to get power back into that Red Bull. And he's urging it along and moving around in his seat, but is this Verstappen out of the race?
It's almost like he's trying to keep it bump started down the back straight there, isn't it?
He's gone from second all the way down to 17th. Let's have a listen.
Stalled out, the engine stalled on him almost. Yeah, he literally did bump start it somehow.
I keep saying I can't change it.
Okay, stand by, Max, for looking.
I keep getting anti-stall.
Anti-stall.
Yeah, so every time he makes the adjustment on the steering wheel that he's told to do, the car goes into anti-stall. Ted, to you.
Got it started up again, but then engine said no, hydraulics said no, electronics said no, and Max has had enough. He's out of the car. The end of the first race of the year.
Daniel Ricciardo. And he's dropping back a little bit. Did he lose power for a minute? Is he stuck in third gear? He hasn't changed gear for quite some time, Daniel Ricciardo. And is this yet another problem? There's a smoke coming out of the rear of that Renault. He's just been overtaken by his teammates. And I think Daniel Ricciardo is another one that's coming into the pits with yet more mechanical problems here in the heats of Austria. This is what happened. We just saw briefly as Daniel Ricciardo was limping back to the pits, Sebastian Vettel cruising past Lance Stroll. Ted, you see Kimi Raikkonen in the pits, I think.
Kimi Raikkonen becomes the second guy to come into the pits for a pit stop. And
Ted, I'm just going to interrupt because Esteban Ocon was having a right old tussle with Kevin Magnussen, and Magnussen, for some reason or another, got the braking all wrong. Could be brake by wire issue and not driver fault, but he could be out of the race here as well. Safety car deployed. Who's diving in? Valtteri Bottas.
So they're going to have to stack the Mercedes then, because they're quite close together. Lewis will back up a bit. He's not going to impede anybody. They'll get away with that, providing there's no problem. They're okay. Here he comes. You're not allowed to do that, what Lewis has done, if you impede somebody else. Of course he didn't, because they're way out in front. So sweet stack double stop there for Mercedes.
We're going to see if the McLarens are going to try and stack. Yes, they are. That stack went absolutely perfectly for Mercedes. They judged that to perfection. Just seeing if anyone's doing something different on tyres.
Oh, Ted, just hang on 2 seconds. There's Sergio Perez coming out and almost going into Lando Norris. And in the end, Perez gives way. But that was a release. And when all the cars pile into the pit lane, you often get this. Cars released into the path of another. Could have been very nasty. The McLaren might have better speed coming up towards turn 3. They're going wheel to wheel. Leclerc's on the inside. Carlos Sainz will be his teammate next year and crashes into Sebastian Vettel this year. Sebastian Vettel spun round by the man who's replacing him at Ferrari.
Yep, and Leclerc and Sainz teammates next year. I'm sorry, but Sebastian Vettel put his nose into a place it should not be. That was a clumsy move there. There's no point in throwing that up there, and he, as I say, he was already throwing it into a spin, trying to avoid the inevitable contact.
On Friday, Perez was the second fastest driver as he breezes past Lando Norris there. Before they get to turn 4, Sergio Perez has put the Racing Point up into 4th place. He was the second fastest driver on the medium tyres in the Friday long runs, although the temperature was much different. Pirelli say they can do 45 laps. That would easily get us to the end of the race. But this is not looking good for George Russell. What has happened here to the Williams? Russell was having a very nice race indeed, going along in 12th place. And this is more mechanical issues.
Lost power.
And he's just been passed by his teammate Nicholas Latifi, and he's going to pull over to the side of the track. That could be a safety car.
Well, they're going to take a quick pit stop then, put a fresh set of boots on.
So we've had Alex Albon from 3rd in for medium tyres, Lando Norris 4th in for tyres, and Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel.
And we are very much getting going now. Valtteri Bottas leads as we cross the line and the green flags wave once more. Then comes Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc right behind him. Behind Leclerc comes Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri. They didn't pit. Ocon didn't pit in 8th. And going wide there was Antonio Giovinazzi. Sainz did pit. He's 9th. Giovinazzi was 10th. Might lose a place to Fiat. As into turn 3 we go. Look up there from Perez. Albon goes down the inside. There's a safety car on the track, but not at this moment. And they all slow down as Perez gets the place back once again from... Oh, and that's why Kimi Raikkonen's had a massive crash down the main straight.
It'll take a bit longer to... It'll take a little bit longer to clear away. So I wonder if he's obviously dropped it through the exit of the corner.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's had a suspension issue on these curbs. But that's a great shame for Alex Albon. He'd really got that move made.
Yeah.
And no DRS, of course, for the first 2 laps after the restart.
Right, so we're running on board with Sebastian Vettel.
Oh,
it's already off.
It's broken already.
The tyre actually came off the wheel. And that's why Kimi Raikkonen then couldn't control the car and ended up heading towards the barriers. Is there in there as well?
Quite by the tether.
I lost the whole front right corner.
Yeah, well, the tether didn't work because it's not a suspension problem. The wheel's just plain fell. Where did that tyre go to?
Well, it bounced all the way across the track.
Swap positions with Perez. Overtake Perez. Thank you.
Bottas has got the jump on the lot of them, and he leads away once more. From Hamilton, from Albon, from Perez and Norris, the top 5. Leclerc, Gasly, Ocon, Sainz and Fiat completing the 10. Albon's got a slipstream on Lewis Hamilton. He might be in a chance here of overtaking. Going into turn 3, he's going to have to go the long way round. Perez is having to defend from Lando Norris as well. Great exit from Alexander Albon. He's got the soft compound tyre on. You would expect that. The hard tyre is on the Mercedes. Albon is all over the back of Hamilton, who once again forces it the long way round. Norris goes the long way round on Perez.
No,
and Albon again, no, with Lewis Hamilton. He's lost out once more as it was in Brazil.
Need some patience, Alex. You need some patience.
Oh dear. Hamilton forced Albon all the way round the outside. Great defence by Lewis.
He was actually ahead, wasn't he? He was ahead.
He's got a very nice exit. The DRS is helping Sainz. It's helping Leclerc as well. Leclerc moves ahead of Carlos Sainz. Sainz is going to fight this one out. They don't touch. Leclerc moves around the outside, gets a bit twitchy on the exit of the corner, but moves into 4th place.
I think Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas have got the message now about the gearbox.
Good.
They're so far off the curves.
Here goes Charles Leclerc down the inside on Sergio Perez. God, that was late. That was brilliant. Charles Leclerc into the podium places as Lewis Hamilton is given a 5-second penalty for causing a collision with Alex Albon. For the second time in 3 races, he has been given a 5-second penalty for the same driver collision. Here come the 2 McLarens, Norris on the inside, Sainz around the outside. This is a good old scrap as well. Norris pushes his more experienced rival out onto the curbs and keeps the place.
Oh no,
Alex Albon! What's happened here? He's slowing down, and that could be mechanical problems as well. I'm trying to do the maths here. I think Lando Norris is only about 3 or 4 tenths off the podium places as it stands at the moment, with both Perez and Hamilton getting a penalty. So they might want to call off that.
Stopping.
They might want to call off that McLaren battle, because that's not helping Norris's pace. And if we're live on board here, that is Norris and Perez. And Norris has managed to get past Sergio Perez, and it was a bit bumpy going into turn 3, but he's managed to do it, and Perez is tumbling down the order, and he's got 5 seconds as well to add to his pain on this one. Oh no, Daniel Kvyat's out of the race! And Daniel Kvyat is out of the race and out of harm's way as well. That's a rear wheel. That just, the tyre shredded, disintegrated.
That's about curbs, that's about running curbs. Should they let Lewis past and try to find a bit more time?
I think we're going to be okay. Chaos and carnage at times, but Valtteri Bottas wins the season opener here in Austria. It is a Mercedes 1-2 on the road, but Hamilton will not keep second place. He gets a 5-second penalty. Charles Leclerc, after a miserable weekend so far for Ferrari, gets on the podium, and Lando Norris gets on the podium for the first time in Formula One because of Lewis Hamilton's penalty. He put in the fastest lap of the race on the last lap of the race, and by a 1/10 of a second, Lando Norris is a podium sitter. McLaren are on the podium, and what a start to the season this has been.
And a point for fastest lap, a 1:07.4. And that put him 4.7 seconds behind Lewis, I believe.
Yeah.
Lewis with a 5-second penalty.
And the first win of the season under your belt. So pick up rubber where you can.
Yes! Well, I don't know, I don't want to celebrate too much yet, but...
We had 7 retirements, but it was car 77 who kept his cool in the heat of Austria and kept his calm and comes home to take, as he did last year, Martin Brundle, the opening race of the season.
And Lando came through to steal a podium right at the end. And well done, Charles Leclerc, as well. Ferrari have had very little pace this weekend, but he's managed to finish second.
That's a huge boost for Ferrari. It really is. That's way more than they would have been expecting from this race. And well done. I don't know about you, Martin Brundle, but I've really enjoyed those 71 laps. Should we do it again next week?
Yeah, let's do it exactly again next week. It's not often I get so engrossed in a race I didn't even notice it was the last lap.
Well, that makes 2 of us. All good things come to those who wait, I said a while ago. Well, in terms of racing entertainment, the Austrian Grand Prix today, that was a very good thing indeed.